course not. This is our busy season. We're fully booked for the next several months.
Well, I can understand why. The place looks great. And little Freddie can't wait for his pancakes.
Well, when your uncle died, I took it upon myself to renovate the main rooms and the guest rooms. I also hired a housekeeper to be on staff at all times. You met Miss Carlson, correct?
Yes, she has quite the charming presence.
Such a sweet face.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna last much longer. And you remember Beatrice, the cook?
Yeah, we were just speaking to her. I barely recognized her.
Yep, that was my doing.
Hey, Russian, it's a secret still?
Of course.
Secret?
This place has a secret, Freddie, but we're not telling you, are we, Russian?
Nope, we'll see if he can find it on his own. It'll be like a game, and you know how I love games.
It's true. If there's one thing you need to remember about Aunt Gretchen, it's her love of games.
We play a wide variety of games here at the inn, and the guests simply adore it. And tomorrow is our weekly movie night. Oh, but enough chit-chat. The two of you must be exhausted. Let me escort you to your room, the Hoedown honeymoon suite.
Who on earth was that? That little lady could not be the same nasty woman who hired me.
Oh, that's her, all right. I've been working here for almost 20 years. Miss Wilcox always treats the guests like cream and the staff like fun pies.
Oh dear.
You'll get used to it.
What is that?
Not Halloween. So either somebody's here to save us from the evil Wilcox, or someone to escape the only dead.
Welcome to Wilcox's Western Bed Breakfast, the best place for a little taste of the wild, wild west Indian tropics. How may I help you, sir?
I have a reservation.
Hank?
Night Crusader.
Oh dear, there's no one under that name here.
You better find Miss Wilcox. I have to get back to her.
Miss Carlson, what are you doing leaving a guest at the check-in desk?
Mrs. Wilcox, I was just going to find you. I can't find this man's name in the registry book.
How hard is it to find a man's name in a registry book?
Sorry, ma'am.
Well, howdy, sir. How may I help you?
Reservation for Night Crusader.
Nope, I don't see a Mr. Nat Crusader. How long ago did you make the reservation?
About a month ago.
The only reservations I'm waiting for are Mr. Camp and a Mr. Steele.
That's me, Steele. A month ago I was going by the name of Steele. Warrior of Steel.
Oh, how nice. Two personalities. You know what they say, two personalities is better than one. Miss Carlson here will escort you to your room. The one room.
Yes, ma'am.
There is no way I'm going to suffer through the agony of rooming next to the two of you. We'll just see what Mrs. Wilcox has to say about this. Go ahead, state your plates. Mrs. Wilcox, I need to converse with you right away.
Well, what is it?
I cannot room next to these two barbarians. I refuse to name it to any person who hunts animals.
Would you prefer me hunt humans? I can sure think of a Yankee I'd like to see hanging above my mantle.
You disgust me. You just disgust me. And you disgust me too.
Miss Matthews, we go over this every year. You know I can't stop the guests from hunting.
Yeah, you got more good to hunt because you got to throw the little needles back and forth. See, hunting's why we came here. We got a tip that's the best squirrels in any territory of the good old U.S. of A. are found on this here island. Then we call it up.
That's right, Ronnie J. There's nothing better than hunting squirrels.
Well, yes, our island is full of many beautiful natural... Wait, did you just say squirrels on a tropical island?
Pretty darn shocking that the squirrel population is having control yet, ain't it?
Yeah, but this is a tropical island. There's no...
I know. You must be worried about all that breeding and multiplying. But don't worry, man. We'll get this problem in no time.
And get some good squirrel meat in the meantime. We could kill two birds with one stone. Or two squirrels for that matter. As long as there's some killing involved, I'll be happy.
Oh, Mrs. Wilcox, I come here every year to clear my mind, knit, and relax. If I have to subject myself to these two barbarians, I might just go a little crazy. And what? I don't know. But I can assure you it won't be good for you or your brother.
Miss Matthews, why don't you go ahead and have a seat on the couch while you knit and drink some tea? It's named Champion.
I can knit one pearl tooth faster than anyone in the country.
She's also the president of the animal rights organization, Mammals, Reptiles, Amphibians. Oh my! Now I'm sure with all those interests, the three of you can find something to talk about.
I doubt it, Wilcox.
Well, why don't you give it a try and have a seat and drink some tea?
Hey, Gretchen, Christine wants to know if we have any extra towels.
I'll get Miss Carlson on that right away, Freddie.
Say, who's this cutie?
Hi, I'm Betty. Betty, thank you. And you?
Lola Matthews, national knitting champion for Las Vegas showgirl, originally from New York City. Please make your acquaintance.
And I'm Christine, his wife.
Oh, please make your acquaintance as well.
Hey, you're a knitting champion? Honey, she's practically a celebrity. Can I get you an autograph?
Yes, well, Freddie and I, it's nice to meet you. But we need to go back to our room.
Yeah, excuse us.
See you later, Mr. Franklin.
Thanks. Call me back.
The Ulysses, Freddie.
Remember when I told you about talking to strangers?
That broad's problem.
I wonder. You sure have a way of making enemies, don't you?
I don't have to stand here and listen to the two of you berate me. I'm going to my room to knit in peace and quiet.
That's 1 8 to go, no flex.
Miss Carlson, this is the last time I am going to tell you to leave extra towels in the guest room.
But Mrs. Wilcox, this is the first time you told me.
Don't get fresh with me unless you want to start looking for a paycheck elsewhere.
Jim. Miss Wilcox?
Oh, I didn't see you two out here. Go along, Miss Carlson, and take your time. Now, how did the two of you enjoy your tea?
Oh, it was delicious. Not about our arrival?
Oh, it's as safe as can be. Plus, I don't think you want to go hunting anyway. It looks like the tropical storm's about to hit.
All right, let us know when it's time for supper then.
Will do.
Checking in.
You must be Mr. Camp,
That would be me.
and they are...
They're a small troop of lines I manage. We're passing through on the way to our next game. This is Tommy, Timmy, Terry, Tebow. Tommy, your suggestion goes down.
Oh, how nice. Well, I'm sure mom to keep the mood around here nice and quiet. Now, are you sure you want 5 separate rooms? I do have a family room that's big enough to suit the 5 of you.
I'm sure. I travel from show to show with these guys. I wash their costumes. I even take 15% of their salaries. I don't room with them. If I had to room with them, I'd probably go crazy. Yeah, kind of like that. I should know how to pick the talent, huh?
You sure do. I'll have Miss Carlson escort you to your rooms.
Thank you. Come on, kids.
Oh, Mr. March. It's nice to see you out of your room. Be interested to put out the afternoon chuck. I hope you like saddle biscuits.
Ah, precisely at 3 o'clock, just like the brochure says.
Yes, here at Wilcox's Western Bed Breakfast, we pride ourselves on promptness and service here.
But the brochure clearly indicates that the snack is edible. Talk about overcooked biscuit. Nearly chip my tooth on that thing.
What a shame.
I'll mention it in my review, though.
Oh, that's good.
I won't have any time to discuss snacks. I'm discussing my small room, bumpy bed, and a view from my window of a large trash bin.
I'll get Miss Carlson on that right away.
The afternoon chuck is out.
I'm starving, darling.
Oh, hello, dears. You enjoying your nap?
Yes, a chance to lie down was just what I needed after that long flight.
Oh, and Gretchen, his biscuits are delicious.
Simply heavenly.
I'll make sure to tell Beatrice about your compliments. And your cousin Christina arrived just a few minutes ago.
Ah, I'm anxious to see her. I hear that she was just married.
Yes, and he's quite a cute fellow, if I say so myself. I'll look out for you. I'll be right back, Mr. March.
Oh, how do you do?
You look familiar.
Well, perhaps you've seen us before.
We are the stars of the stage.
We've appeared in over 45 regional theatrical productions.
And always
Not to mention that we're husband and wife.
We are co-stars on the stage and in life, aren't we, darling?
Oh, I remember you, Stefan and Suzanne Living. I saw you together in the Elms of Passion.
One of my finest roles.
And mine as well.
I should certainly hope not. I believe our first role is trite and overstated, and yours is self-indulgent.
Wait, did Aunt Gretchen call you Mr. March as in Joel March?
Yes,
The nastiest theater critic on the West Coast.
correct. Former nastiest theater critic on the West Coast, and currently the nastiest hotel critic on the East Coast.
And I remember hearing that you no longer write for Theater Monthly.
I'm not writing for Hotel Weekly.
What happened? Readers couldn't handle your bitterness? Or was it your jealousy?
I take pride in bitterness, but jealousy, multiply.
I can only imagine that anyone that writes with such contempt for actors is simply jealous of their artistic abilities.
Trust me, my little friend, I consider myself lucky never to been mixed up with you and your group of overcomplicated, undereducated bohemians. Where did you learn what you refer to as art?
We both attended Juilliard for a time.
Oh, Juilliard.
That's right.
Never heard of it.
I'm not going to just stand here and put up with this.
Now, darling, save this emotion for the stage. Practice your breathing exercises.
Oh, Christine, it was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. This is my husband, Freddie.
A pleasure.
It's so nice to meet you.
And this is my wife, Suzanne.
Pleasure to meet your acquaintance, darling. Yes, well, I was just showing Freddie around the bed and breakfast.
Oh, have you told him about the secret yet?
What is the secret everyone keeps talking about?
I'll give you a little hinty hint, sweetie. It's found right here in this very room.
That's true?
Do you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, but I'm not the most perceptive person.
I know, but remember, you were perceptive enough to notice you wanted to marry me.
This guy comes to the scene all over that man.
Rachel, what did you expect here? Oh, come on, Suzanne.
Well, looks like the family reunion has officially begun. Suzanne and I are going to make some tea.
I don't think you've had a chance to meet my husband, Dr. Robert Taylor.
And this is my husband, Freddie.
Oh, those eyes and cheekbones must be Russian.
Yes, Russia would have been my first guess as well.
Actually, my family is Ukrainian.
Darn it, I'm so close, but you must be from Eastern Ukraine, am I correct?
How did you know?
Robert and Rachel are anthropologists. They study the world. They study human remains. They travel around the world to promote the understanding of human remains.
How morbid.
Oh, hello. I didn't see this.
Would you like to join us?
No.
That man seems to be in a bad mood.
Oh, don't mind him. He's just a bitter journalist.
Now, Rachel, your mother was...
Ida, one of Gretchen's sisters.
And my mother was Agnes, also one of Gretchen's 4 sisters.
4?
We're not really sure what happened to the fourth sister, but Aunt Ida, Aunt Agnes, my mother, and Aunt Gretchen were all inseparable when they were alive. The three of us practically grew up together.
And that's why these family reunions are so much fun. We have the chance to reminisce. Ever since our mothers passed away, we haven't seen much of one another. We all sort of went our separate ways.
Has anyone here seen my other needle?
Needle? I've heard of looking for a needle in a haystack, but at bed and breakfast?
Really? It's not a tiny sewing needle. It's a big needle for knitting. I put it somewhere and I can't seem to find it. Well, hello, you cutie.
Hi.
I'm gonna look for my needle in my room.
Well, Barbara and I better get to our rooms and finish unpacking. We'll do some more catching up later.
It was nice meeting you.
Suzanne and I should return to our room as well.
We'll see you at supper, darling. Well,
What?
what do you have to say for yourself?
About what?
Your eyes bursting out of your head whenever Miss Knitting Needles comes around.
Aw, you know I only have eyes for you.
Whatever, save it. I don't want to see you looking at her again, or I'll scream bloody murder.
I didn't look at her. She's not even here.
That's what it means. It sounded like Aunt Gretchen. And Gretchen is on the floor in the hallway.
What? Bring us in here.
I think there might be something wrong with Mrs. Wilcox.
Yeah, that knife sticking out of her back is probably a problem.
Is she unconscious?
Oh.
No, she's not unconscious. She's dead.
What's all the rattle? We heard a scream.
The old lady's dead.
Oh dear.
No, no. If only I'd been there in time. If only I were quicker, more efficient. Why must innocent blood be spilled? Whoever is responsible for this gruesome movement of them will pay. Pay!
Is he serious? That knife came from the kitchen. Someone must have stolen it while I wasn't there. Miss Wilcox was killed with her own knife. Oh dear!
This note was on the floor by Mrs. Wilcox's body.
Here, let me see it. It's written in this weird orange ink. There was an old woman named Gretchen. The thought of her kept me a Gretchen. I took a sharp knife and ended her life, but me you will never be catching.
Sounds like someone had it in for Aunt Gretchen.
That poem was kind of catchy, though.
What are we going to do with Aunt Gretchen? We can't just leave her in the middle of the living room floor.
Don't they know when to put bodies on ice?
We have ice in the kitchen.
Me and College Hope carry it.
One good thing about us Michael twins, we're just strong as an axe. Who could have done this before Aunt Gretchen? It's murder! There's not a murder at the family reunion! I'm going to prepare a smorgasbord tonight. Stuffed chicken, fried chicken, roasted chicken, chicken pot pie. We have to take most of the meat out of the freezer because we have good bodies. Who could have done this?
I'm afraid if I review this place, we just keep getting worse and worse. Let's stay at the bed of breakfast with murder on the loose. That's a surefire way to ruin vacation.
Well, what do we do now? We can't be the only people on the island. Isn't there someone we can contact for help? Well, the island has our bed and breakfast, a large inn, and a servant-served restaurant. The authorities are on another island. Well, they have some people at the restaurant, or maybe we can walk to the inn. Both are nearly a mile away, close to the coast, but this tropical storm is even worse.
Yeah.
I don't think it's safe to go outside conditions like these.
Yeah, we're stuck in here till that storm blows over.
You mean we're trapped here with a murderer? Trust me. You mean safer in here with a murderer than out there next door.
Oh, it's just a drizzle. You should have seen the monsoons I came across during my expedition to Bangladesh.
Well, maybe this is a little worse.
I've tried every phone into this place, but none of them are working. Phone lines must be down due to the storm.
And you know there's no service on the island. What should we do now?
You look like some kind of witch doctor. Can't you do a rain dance?
I believe you were referring to the rain dance from Cherokee or other indigenous North American tribes. Rain dances are usually performed when rain is there, and it's clearly already raining. We want it to stop.
And there's no rain stopping.
Not that I know of.
Ronnie!
What?
This is your chance!
My chance?
To solve your first murder case.
But I haven't been accepted into the police academy yet.
That's okay. It's never too soon to practice playing detective.
Oh. What is happening? Storm must have knocked out the power. Up there. Oh.
Like I was saying, you can practice playing detective.
But I wouldn't even know where to start.
Just use the skills you've learned in law security.
But,
No, but if you do a good job, I'll give you a gold star. And if you do a really good job, I'll give you a lollipop.
ooh, gee, do I get to pick the flavor?
This guy's gonna figure out the sexual process. Not no traffic for your body.
Or at least give him a chance.
Yeah, what do we have to lose? We don't have any contact with the police until the storm is over.
I know you can do it. I know you can do it, sweetie pie.
Well, all right, Freddie, start detecting.
This is so exciting, a real-life murder mystery.
Not even business. Why do you have a seat?
We're not allowed to sit down on the job.
I don't think you have to worry. Your boss boss is dead.
I guess the first thing I should figure out is how I got to this murder. I think the knife in the bag has something to do with it. Good point. So I think it's safe to surmise and Gretchen has been stabbed to death.
Oh, bravo, my little love bug. You're doing such a wonderful job so far. I'm so proud of you.
You just established the obvious. You're a fool. I'm going to my room. Tell me you solved this murder case.
That man seems to be in a permanent bad mood. One or nobody else them.
Dear, you shouldn't talk like that, especially given the situation at hand.
I suppose my comment was in poor taste.
Now what?
I don't know.
Maybe you should figure out who had access to the hallway.
Okay. Well, who did have access to the hallway?
I suppose the only guests that were in their rooms.
Well, not necessarily. The kitchen has an entrance to the dining room that leads directly to the hallway. You can get anywhere in this place from that hall.
So anyone could have had access to the hallway?
So, Freddie, who do you think the murderer is?
I don't know. I'm new at this. Give me.
Hold it. Well, howdy, folks. I thought I'd mosey on out here and warm up a bit. It's cold in that freezer, and there's nothing to do. Not that these folks are doing anything anyhow. Hi, I thought I told you sitting down the job was not allowed. And Beatrice, you should know better. Not that they couldn't see me or hear me anyway. That tends to happen when you're murdered. So, what are these folks here talking about?
Freddy's trying to be a hero.
Well, what's he trying to do?
Detect. He's trying to find out who killed you.
Who murdered me?
Yeah.
I don't have the slightest clue on who murdered me. You see, I was walking back from my room to this room when I found a sharp pain in my bag. That's all I remember anyway. Let's see if Freddy here can be a detective, shall we? Resume.
I still have not been able to locate the whereabouts of your missing knitting needle.
Sorry, Lila, but we have a bigger mission to solve.
No, I need my needle. This murder has me all worked up, and the only thing that calms me is knitting. Say, Freddie, you haven't seen your needle, have you?
I want to see looking at her or I'll scream.
No, I haven't seen you.
Your needle will probably turn on.
I hope so. Wait, what is on your waist?
Oh, this? It's Gerald that opened the lobby display in Southeast area. It's named tomato skin.
Skin, as in animal skin.
Yes, Lebanese women traditionally wear one after they're married. It's similar to our culture of wearing a wedding ring.
You are little cruel baby.
Why do you say that?
That skin came from a living, breathing pig.
Yes, Robert and I were married by the Lebanese. The Euro died was a wedding gift.
Tell me not another word. I cannot wear it here. If you want to wear something around your waist, you should try knitting yourself a belt. No animals are harmed from knitting. If you ask me, you're no better than whoever murdered Mrs. Wilcox.
But only a pig was killed for Rachel's apron, not a person.
It's no different. Maybe someday you'll know how it feels to have your skin and flesh peeled from your dead bones too.
She seems to be in a bad mood as well.
Speaking of skin and flesh being killed from dead bones, I better get back to the kitchen. It's 6 o'clock and I haven't even started cooking yet. I'm only gone a few hours and look what happens. The place is already going to shambles.
Come on, Rachel. We need a break from all this discussion about murder. I just need to kick back for a while.
And now you can have your supper for 2 hours as well.
What? You're supposed to figure out who murdered me. Well, you know what? Fine. If you're going to take a rest, then so am I. Back to the freezer for me. You haven't seen my husband, have you, darling?
No, ma'am.
We were supposed to rehearse for an audition he had coming up, but he left the room over 20 minutes ago and hasn't been back since.
Well, he hasn't been in here.
You don't suppose he's gone missing, do you?
It's a possibility.
go up and scoop up their little dead bodies.
Wow, what a delightful thought. But I really don't think you should be shooting a gun inside the house.
We'll aim the rifle outside, not inside. Don't
Hey,
worry.
the cabinet's empty.
Where's our rifle?
I don't know, it's gone. Are you sure Mrs. Wilcox put it in there? I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
In my house, too.
Somebody must have taken it out. Well, this is a violation of the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. Somebody's tampering with our right to bear arms. We've got to keep it here. What if whoever murdered Mrs. Wilcox is the same person who stole your rifle?
Then we'd have a murder thief.
Or a thief or a murderer? Oh dear, there was knitting needles missing too. What if the same person stole both the knitting needles, your rifle, and the knife to murder Mrs. Wilcox?
Did you say there's a thief in the house? There sure is, Bob.
Say, what's that get up you're wearing?
Get up.
Those are costumes you got on?
Oh, these are costumes. They're uniforms. Right now, I'm the Knight Crusader.
What do you mean right now? Are you other people at other times?
I'm a whole bunch of different people. Is one of them people a murderer?
Or a thief?
No, the Knight Crusader's not steal from anyone. Well, anyone who isn't a villain. Then why do you wear that uniform? I'm an full follower of graphic novels.
Yeah, I hear words coming out of that mouth, but I don't understand what they're saying.
Let's just say, I read a lot of comic books, and I strive to live as my favorite character. And right now you're living as the Knight Crusader, you hit the nail on the head. Hey! I didn't hit nothing! No, you go accusing me of violence?
Oh dear, it's just an expression.
Well, this fella better watch what he's expressing, because it sounds to me like an accusation. I do believe you're the one who accused me of being a thief, which is impossible. The Knight Crusader does not steal. He fights injustice, successfully hides his identity, and still manages to maintain a steady relationship with mischief and talent. Well, Knight Crusader, maybe you can help me find the person who stole our rifle.
Now that's an injustice that needs to fight.
I'll do my best.
And I should go back to my room to make this defined.
Whatever you say, gal. Come on, Knight Crusader. On my way, Mike.
Well, those two are in a hurry.
They're on a mission to fight injustice.
Well, we're on a mission too.
What kind of mission would that be?
A mission to fill our bellies. I got a troop of hungry minds here. And now what's thirsty?
Let me check with Beatrice. Supper should have been served already, but with all the excitement for Mrs. Wilcox's murder, we're a bit behind schedule.
Well, if supper won't be ready for a while, could you at least give me a snack? I sure get hungry watching these minds pretend to eat.
I'll admit, that corn on the cob does look pretty good.
Oh, I just decided to do a little breathing until supper. All I have are my field notes, and I can't concentrate on work right now.
I know exactly what you mean.
So, what are we doing?
They must be reading.
Oh, I see. Are you reading anything good? Oh, I love a good romance novel. How can you read a murder mystery at a time like this?
Maybe he thinks they'll help him figure out who murdered Mrs. Wilcox.
Maybe, but a romance novel it is for me too.
Beatrice said it'll be another half an hour before supper is served, so I picked you some cheese and crackers to help tide you over. It's not exactly an authentic Western snack, but it's all that I know how to do in the kitchen.
Thank you. Come on, kids.
Can I get you anything, Dr. Shankman?
Oh no, dear. I'll just sit here and read until supper.
I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Just look around.
Oh, see.
Rachel, I didn't know you were out here.
Yes, I decided to read until supper. I thought you two were going to take a nap.
Well, we got back to the room and I decided I couldn't rest. Not until I know who murdered Aunt Gretchen.
Christine wants me to look for clues.
Yes, Freddie. All good detectives look for
You were the one who threatened Rachel earlier.
You were accusing me of something I'm incapable of doing. I don't believe in hurting any living creature, and that includes humans.
Stop. You can't go around pointing fingers, blaming people with murder. Right, Freddie?
Yeah, Christine is right.
I have an announcement to make, everybody. As some of you may already know, Freddie is going to use his brilliant detective skills to figure out who murdered Aunt Gretchen. Now, he's just going to have to figure out who murdered Rachel as well.
I am?
Hold it. I can't believe it. I go back to the freezer for a few minutes and look what happens. Poor Rachel. Well, at least we'll have company in the freezer now. These fools will never be able to figure out who the murderer is. If I don't step in, half the guests on the guest list will be murdered by the end of the night. How was Rachel murdered?
Gun.
Sir, could you please let all the others, respond? Thank you.
They're not talking.
A gun, you say? Did someone come in and shoot her?
Oh, yeah.
Well, where from? The fireplace? Oh no, the secret! Now how can I get Freddy to see that the gun was fired from the secret? I guess I could just move him. Resume.
How could someone do this to Rachel?
Wait, Freddie, what are you doing over there? Get over here and interrogate the suspects.
I am not a suspect. Neither am I. In fact, I'm a victim. Victim of the Second Amendment.
Wait, there's blood over here. It's a trail leading straight to the body.
Where's Connie? Let's turn out and clean it up.
You mean that little maid? She hasn't been out here this whole time. And where's your husband?
I don't know. I haven't seen him for the past half an hour. Oh my. The trail of blood leads directly to the secret.
It does.
You keep talking about the secret. What is the secret?
I guess I can tell you now. Behind this wall is a secret passage.
A secret passage?
Yeah, it's kind of this fun little passage by the linen closet at the end of the hallway. Freddie, it was so perceptive for you to find the trail of blood.
Yes, it was. I love a highly perceptive man.
Hey, there's a note here next to the passage.
Let me see it. It's written in that same orange ink. Rachel had to go, but who shot her, you'll never know.
Again. Catch it.
Do you think whoever murdered Rachel stole the secret passage?
Maybe.
How do we get this thing open?
There's a latch behind the painting.
How's it possible the fireplace there?
The fireplace isn't real. The builder of this house had a great sense of humor and built the fireplace to hide the passage.
Hold it! In all of my days, I have never seen anything as low down and vile as an affair at a family reunion. Then again, I've also never seen a murder at a family reunion, let alone two.
Connie in the hallway. I asked if I could speak with her for a moment.
Stefan said he wanted some help rehearsing a scene.
In a linen closet?
Said he wanted to go someplace where no one would bother us.
You mean where no one can find you? Well, guess what? We found you. You two tiny creeps!
Calm down. That still doesn't explain how the two of you could have possibly been in the passage without seeing anybody else in there.
We were in the hallway when the lights went out. We heard a loud bang, and we could see 2 inches in front of our faces. Someone did brush by us as we were entering the passage, but it was too dark to tell who it was.
You know, I did think it was strange that there was somebody else in the linen closet. So, wait, you guys heard a gunshot and still felt the need to continue your rendezvous?
Yes, Stefan is a dog who won't even stop for murder.
No! I didn't know there had been a gunshot. There's been a racket in this place all night. I thought the loud bang was another crack of thunder.
Then who was entering the passage as you guys were? Someone's not telling the truth.
That sounds like an easy accomplishment for an actor.
Or an actress. For anyone. Clearly there's someone here pretending to be who he or she is not. Stefan and I are the only ones with acting ability.
Blaming each other is getting us nowhere. We all entered the room through the hallway after we heard the gunshot. Did anyone here ever see anything?
How could we? It was pitch black.
2 murders, 15 suspects.
Oh dear, I'm scared.
Oh, feel safe anymore. You're the one with the gun. You should feel safer than all of us.
Good idea, Tommy. Maybe we should put the gun in the safe. That way everyone will feel safer.
Don't be so sure. Aunt Gretchen was murdered with a knife.
That's true, and somebody used the keys to take the gun out of the cabinet the first time. Who said it won't happen again?
Good point. Then I think we should leave the gun in the hands of the detective.
Any idea what we should do? You're the one playing detective. Oh, right. Then I think you all should return to your rooms and lock the doors. They're hungry. And it's well past dinner according to the brochure.
I'll get back to the kitchen then.
Wait, Beatrice, you can't go back to the kitchen by yourself. Suppose someone tries to hurt you.
Or you try to hurt someone.
I'll go with her.
Okay. Connie and Beatrice can work in the kitchen. The rest of you return to your rooms until supper. Christine and I will stay out here and continue to look for clues.
Oh, Freddie, I love it when you get so authoritative.
Well, what are we going to do with Rachel? We can't just leave her out here on the floor. We'll take care of that. And there you go, Miss Wilcox.
I should probably head back to the kitchen before Carla Joe and Ronnie J figure out I'm gone.
So, Freddie, where are you going to look for clues now?
I have no clue.
I know. Whoever was in the passage should have known it existed in the first place.
Well, who here would know about the passage?
Well, those of us who work here know about it. And the passage is used during the evening days of hide and seek. So the best would stay here before knowing about it also.
Hide and seek? What kind of bed and breakfast is this? Don't normal places just put out board games for the guests?
Miss Wilcox likes to take things up a notch.
I like the games of hide and seek.
Beatrice, which guests have stayed here before?
Lola stays here every year.
having breakfast? I would love to believe it was.
These murders have certainly put a damper on our honeymoon, haven't they?
What in the world?
Did the storm knock the power out again?
Mr. and Mrs. Franklin, are you guys still out here? We're right here, Connie. Vehicle for a fuse pop. The circuit breaker is in the mudroom, right off the kitchen. She's in there fixing it now. Oh, there we go.
Fix the fuse. Someone must have overloaded the circuits. Weird.
Connie, come help me set the table. Get the interest.
What is it?
Come quickly, it's the thought. Look in the bathtub.
What's so odd about that? Don't normal people bathe?
Yes, but he's not moving.
Oh! What in the world is going on here? What kind of establishment has power going on and off all evening? This is going to affect our mood. Is everything all right out here?
I don't know. It sounds like something happened to Stefan.
Looks like we found Neil's missing laptop. It was in the bathroom with Stefan.
Is he okay?
No, he's dead. The laptop was plugged in next to the bathtub. It must have fallen in, blew a circuit, and caused the blackout. Stefan was electrocuted.
I don't even understand. Stefan didn't even bring a laptop.
Well, Neil just told us that his was stolen. Whoever took it must have put it in the back of his crime knowing it would electrocute him.
Suzanne told everything. Well, when we were sent back to our rooms, Stefan told me he was going to take a bath. Bubble baths tend to help relieve his tension, you see. And I told him I didn't care what he did, because I didn't want to look at his lying, cheating face. So I decided to give myself a facial. Healthy skin is essential for actors, you see. So I applied a facial mask and put some cucumbers over my eyes to get rid of the puffiness. Then I decided to lay down on my bed. Then all of a sudden I heard a sizzle and a pop. And when I took off the cucumbers, it was completely blackout. And I got up to go check on Stefan, and someone shoved past me and ran out of our room.
Did you see who it was?
No, darling. It was so dark and everything happened so quickly. I called out to Stefan, and when the lights came on, a moment later I saw why he never responded.
We found this in the bathroom with Stefan.
I don't know. Just written that orange ink again.
Has there ever been someone who made you so mad that the thought of him murdered would make you feel glad? I know that you think what I did was quite bad, and maybe it was, but I'm not feeling sad.
That murderer sure is some poet.
I don't understand. Who would want to do this to Stefan?
Don't look at me. I can't even figure out who murdered Aunt Gretchen and Rachel.
Hold it. Rachel, I'd like for you to meet my friends. They're helping me solve my murder. Well, our murders now.
Based upon the looks on everyone's faces, it seems as if there's been another murder.
Has there been another murder?
Oh, yeah.
Who was murdered this time? Not Stefan. Who is doing this? Who is murdering random guests at my bed and breakfast?
Well, I reckon, what if it's not random?
What?
Think about it. You were murdered, and then I was murdered. Now Stefan has been murdered. Don't you see the connection?
Yeah, we're all related. We have to let Freddie know. I have an idea.
We can't help him. We're dead. He can't see us or hear us.
Yeah, but you think this beetle brain would be able to solve it on its own?
Probably not.
Resume. I can't believe my darling Stefan is gone.
Freddie, what do you do with the registry book?
I don't know.
Wait, someone circled a bunch of names. The Wilcox and Wilcox Western Bed and Breakfast is circled, and Rachel's last name Shanklin is circled, and so Stefan's last name Livingston. Why would someone circle those three names?
Well, the people with those three names have already been murdered.
And they're all related. They're all my relatives. Freddie, good thing you grabbed the registry book. You're such a good detective.
Yeah, thanks. and tell them the suffragette. I'll announce that there's been another murder then.
Freddie, I just realized something. If the murderer is targeting my family, I could be next. I'm the only non-family member left at the reunion. Supper was wonderful, Beatrice.
If by wonderful you mean dry and tasteless, then yes, Beatrice, dinner was wonderful.
You're really testing my patience, Miss March. There's only so much I can handle before I snap.
Really, what are you going to do?
You don't want to know.
Well, you might not have liked supper for all, but the moms here sure thought it was delicious.
I've never seen anyone eat so ferociously.
I told you they were hungry.
And it looks like they were half the cake we had for dessert.
Wow, Night Crusader. It was nice of you to raise us to a new master for supper.
Night Crusader? I'm not Night Crusader anymore.
He looks like some sort of buffalo guy now.
I beg your pardon. I'm no buffalo. I'm the Yak Man. 50% man, 50% yak. 100% the slaughter of all that they're threatening to relate us.
I've never heard of him.
You have. The Yak Man knows you. The Yak Man knows all.
Where do you get your costumes?
They're not costumes. They're uniforms. And I make them myself.
Oh, really? Well, how would you like to get mine costume shop? The troop here issued used to need uniforms.
I don't suppose why not. They might look nice in some. Now they're very terracotta leotard. Have some fabric swatches in my bag if you want.
Sure thing.
Wait, Freddie, is it a good idea to let Neil go back to the Night Crusader, Yak Man's room?
Really good. You wouldn't get some fabric.
I guess it would be safer if you all returned to your own room. Sure, there's nothing I'd rather do than sit in my cramped little room.
Fine. Come on, kids.
Don't forget to lock your doors.
Mr. Franklin, I really should get back to the kitchen.
Oh, Connie, would you mind helping Beatrice in the kitchen? If we're going to be out of our rooms, it's safer to stay in pairs.
Yes, Mr. Franklin.
Take care of myself.
Freddie, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, sure thing.
I still have not been able to find my needle. Does anyone here check who has a knitting needle, please?
Listen, Lily.
It's Lola, sweetie.
Whatever. 3 people have been murdered. How can you still be concerned about knitting?
I'm not concerned about knitting. I'm concerned about the needle. Think about it. The knife is stolen from the kitchen and used to stab Mr. Wilcox. Michael's twin gun is stolen from the cabinet and used to shoot Rachel. And Neil's missing laptop was found in the bathroom with Stefan.
What does this have to do with your missing knitting needle?
I think the murderer might use it to murder his or her next victim.
A knitting needle through the neck could certainly cause some damage.
So you think your missing knitting needle is a clue?
It could be.
Huh. I never thought of it like that. Well, I think you should go back to your room now.
I agree.
Hey, would you let us look up for a needle, would you?
Yeah. You know, Lola does have a good point.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, she could be right. If we don't find the murderer, that knitting needle could be our next weapon.
Do you think the murderer is after you next?
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? The best place to murder an entire family would be a family reunion.
I think we should keep all conclusions to ourselves. We shouldn't let the other guests know that we found a connection between all of the victims.
Freddie, you're sounding more and more like a detective every minute. It makes me just want to kiss you all over. Well, now what?
I don't know, but I'll figure something out. I won't let anything bad happen to you. I don't want my wife to know if I have knitting needle. What would that make you? Sister Brad?
Mr. Franklin, stop everything!
What's going on?
Get off of me!
What about the J.J.R. suitcase? It looks like a suitcase full of weapons.
What's the meaning of this, Yak Man?
Get off of me and I can explain.
Why do you have a suitcase full of weapons?
This is the atomic blaster. They're the deadly destroyer. They're harmless.
How are they harmless?
They're just props of all the comic book convention. See?
Oh! The bag! Oh, I guess they're fake.
So fake. Why would I bring you weapons to relax and save about a breakfast? I'm no murderer.
How are we supposed to know that the weapons are fake? Where did you guys find these anyway?
Those two came marching into my room a little while ago. That one sat on me. Well, that one started going through my bag.
And why would you do that?
Well, you don't expect us to just sit back and let a murderer run around this place, do you?
We decided to take matters into our own hands, try to find him ourselves.
And why would you, how did you get in the young man's room? I told everyone to lock the doors.
The door was locked.
What? You think I can't break a lock?
Yak Man's room was the first one we busted into. And sure enough, we found weapons.
Corrupt weapons.
Fine, you little buffalo wing. You win this time.
You know, Carl Joe, it's too bad them weapons is fake. Sure looks like they could blast any squirrel we came across in the pits.
Yeah, and I bet the next room we search, there'll be weapons as well.
I think you should return to your own room.
I'm pretty sure the other guests wouldn't appreciate you going through their belongings.
They most certainly would not.
What's this?
That's in case one of my uniforms needs an invisible cloak.
Okay, well, here you go then.
Now that we have everything settled, you guys should return to your own room. Remember, there's a murderer standing here with real weapons.
Freddie, I need to talk to you.
We've got a problem here, Sherlock. Neil, why were you... You didn't come through here. How did you get in the kitchen?
I went into the dining room.
Why were you in the dining room?
Tommy and Timmy were hungry, so we went back to the dining room just to see if there was any leftovers. But everything's already been cleaned up.
Yeah, we just finished supper.
What can I say? They get hungry.
They aren't eavesdropping on us.
We were doing nothing of the sort. We merely overheard a conversation, a very interesting conversation that I think can help you in your investigation.
Oh dear. Don't believe a word he says.
Beatrice, please. Go on, Neil.
As we entered the dining room, we overheard a heated conversation between Beatrice and Tommy. And we put our ear up to the door, and then we heard Tommy tell Beatrice that she's the greenest woman that she ever worked for.
Well, it's true. This is my first day on the job, and you've seen the way she treats me.
I only met Miss Wilcox for a few moments, but she's one of the sweetest old ladies I've ever come across.
You are never under her thumb.
Anyways, as we walked to the kitchen, that's when I heard Beatrice tell Tommy, and I quote, "The old windbag got her just desserts."
It's true. I said it.
So you see, it's obvious that one of these two murdered Mrs. Wilcox, and probably the others. In fact, they're probably in on this together.
I am not a murderer, and neither am I. I was just venting my frustrations about my employer. I'd like to hear what your little minions have to say about you when you're not around.
How do we know that they're telling the truth?
I've been working at Wilcox's Western Bed Breakfast for almost 20 years. Do you really think I would have waited this long if I wanted to go into Wilcox?
Well, maybe tonight you snapped. You didn't tell Joel there was only so much you could take.
Well, why were you in the kitchen anyway? If Timmy and Tommy were hungry, why did the rest of you come along?
Because Tommy and Timmy don't speak, so they need me to help translate their actions into words.
I like this story.
It does no good to stand here and blame one another. Now, Neil, mine, go back to your rooms and stay put this time.
And we'll go back to the kitchen. Hopefully this time, no one decides to eavesdrop on us.
Follow me. Come on, kids!
Come on, Tommy!
Let's hope that's the last of their option. Ready? Ah, now what? This is her. I was sitting in my room trying to get some writing done in peace and quiet. I moved from the laundry chair by my bed to the lumpier chair by the window. It looks softer than a chair by my bed. The looks can be deceiving, let me tell you. I'm going to have to mention that in my review. Robert talking about the murder? I don't know. I couldn't make out words, only voices. What was so urgent about that? Notice, I said voices, plural. Robert has someone in his room with him. Who? I don't know. It sounded like a woman, but it could be his wife. Why not? She's in the freezer.
Remember the incident with the rifle?
Oh, okay, right. Well, interesting observation, Joel. What do I do now?
Most people Robert has in his room with him.
Good idea. Not like this situation. Not one bit.
I'm sure there's a logical explanation who Robert has in his room with him.
Nothing logical has been going on in this place all evening. Look who I found in Robert's room.
And you wanted to see us, darlings. What are you doing in Robert's room? Well,
No, you don't need to tell them. It's none of their business what we're doing in my room.
You were told to stay in your own room.
Don't you two realize how suspicious this looks? What's suspicious about this? Robert and I were only having a little discussion, darling. You guys don't think there's anything suspicious about two people whose spouses have just been murdered getting together for a secret conversation? No.
I bet a murderer's plan was in the works.
That sounds like an accusation.
It was an accusation.
How dare you accuse me of murder?
You wouldn't be accused of anything if you wanted to stay in your room like you're supposed to.
Doesn't anyone follow directions anymore?
Lola, what are you doing with that 2x4?
Freddie, I'm so sorry to startle you. I'm here in business.
Business.
Yes. I was sitting in my room with nothing to do and I found my missing knitting needle, and it struck me like lightning. I should help Freddie fix the murder. I will be your assistant.
Yeah, well, Freddie already has an assistant.
Who?
Me.
Oh.
The storm has a giant board.
It's for protection, of course. You don't think I'm gonna let some murderer come and murder me with my own knitting needle, do you?
Wouldn't bother me any.
You are too funny. No, I whacked that murderer right in the head before he even got close.
That's it. We can't hit people in and out of their rooms like this. Carrying around weapons, no less. Someone is going to get hurt.
Or murdered.
Now, Suzanne, Robert, go and gather the others. We need to have a bed and breakfast meeting.
Hold it! Stefan! I'd like for you to meet our friends. They're helping us solve our murders.
Hello, everyone.
I think we need to figure out who the murderer is before someone else is, well, murdered. It's crowded enough in that cringe with three of us, and I can't imagine trying to fit another body in there.
Well, what's going on now? You guys can't talk.
Shouldn't Finn be more concerned with our murders?
I don't know. A meeting? Let's see what they're going to talk about, shall we?
Resume. Beatrice, Connie, come out here for a minute, please. What's the meeting, Liz? A bed and breakfast meeting? Take a seat, Neil.
I haven't been in any more room. Where?
Thank you. I've called all of you out here to discuss something important. After dinner, you were told to stay in your rooms, and none of you listened.
Well, we're going to go through against our will.
Well, some of us thought we had reasons to drag others out here against their will.
I know you all have your reasons, but you have to realize that 3 people have already been murdered.
And sorry.
We don't know if the murderer will strike again.
But we do know that the murderer is someone in this room.
If you ask me, one of those 2 murderers broke out. I overheard them talking in the kitchen.
Yes, we know. You all suspect each other, and for good reasons. But I think the best thing to do would be to air out all of our suspicions and let Freddie figure out who the real murderer is.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Can I start? You may have the floor, Joel.
As I already told Freddie Christine a few moments ago, I overheard Robert and Suzanne having a conversation in his room.
What's so wrong with us having a conversation?
You were found in the same room when you've been told to stay in your own. That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Did anyone ever think that maybe these 2 were in on the murder together? Isn't it funny that after you husband was found fiddling with another woman. He winds up dead.
Well, if you really want to know the truth, Stefan and I weren't even a couple anymore.
Is that true?
I'm afraid so.
Don't look so shocked, everyone. Stefan and I were married for business purposes only. We acted together as a pair. We needed each other for our careers to survive. I wasn't angry when I found him with Connie. He was only my husband after all. Do you honestly think I was in love with him?
I don't know. You seemed a little angry to me.
It's called acting, darling. Stefan, I have found Stefan with plenty of women over the years. And he has found me with plenty of men. Our marriage is purely for show. Sure, our marriage began with love and affection. That was gone a long time ago. You really can't keep the slogan, partners on stage and off, if the audiences don't really believe you're a couple.
So why would you even bother to? Are you about it now?
No. Are you forgetting we're at a family reunion? Suzanne's my cousin. Or, she's my wife's cousin's wife. Would that make us cousins-in-law?
That's legal in 3 states. Robert and I aren't having an affair.
Besides, even if we were, why would we want to kill Aunt Gretchen? You want to know who murdered Aunt Gretchen? Look at those two. I overheard you saw coming that the old woman deserved to get murdered.
Oh, really now?
Even if I said she got what she deserved, that doesn't mean I was the one who gave it to her. That's right. It's perfectly possible to dislike a woman without killing her. That's right. I might have spit in the morning coffee a couple times, but that's it. That's right. Ew.
I knew you were up to something, Mrs. Google Hanner.
Maybe after years and years of plotting murder, Beatrice finally decided it was time to get rid of Gretchen Wilcox once and for all.
And why wouldn't I have just found another place to work if I disliked Miss Wilcox that much? And why would we murder Dr. Shakespeare and Mr. Livingston? Neither of us had problems with either of them.
Stefan had a problem with Joel, or Joel had a problem with Stefan. His reviews of Stefan and Theater Monthly were downright horrible.
They certainly were.
Doesn't that make Stefan want to murder me as opposed to me wanting to murder Stefan?
Not necessarily. Why did you tell us all why I'm no longer a theater critic?
I wanted a career change. Critiquing hotels just sounded more appealing.
You forget that we also work in the entertainment industry. We hear the gossip. The real reason you're no longer a theater critic is because you were fired, let go, tossed out on your butt without even a see you later. Too many of the plays that you were tearing apart in your columns went on to be great hits. Your opinion in the theater community is no longer valued.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
Well, maybe you blame the success of actors like Stefan for your failure.
Well then, why wouldn't I murder Suzanne as well? And why would I have a reason to murder Miss Wilcox and Rachel? If you ask me, the five of you look suspicious. You've been running around here all evening.
Tommy and Timmy have been looking for food.
How much food can I eat anyway? It would be perfect if one of you was a murderer. You've been in and out of the kitchen all night, and who knows where else you've been lurking when no one was around. Perhaps by the cabinet concealed with guard.
Yeah, that's great, but what was our motive?
Give me time. I'll come up with something.
If you think sneaking around is suspicious, you should talk to those two. They came in the room a little while ago. That one said of me, I was everyone's in my bag.
We weren't snooping to steal. We were snooping to protect.
So you claim.
Why would we want to commit murder?
That's easy. You two seemed mighty upset when Miss Wilcox locked up your gun. You really think that we would stoop so low as to murder someone over something as stupid as that? You seem pretty upset about your Second Amendment right being violated, but you were upset about something too, Lola. That's right. When you saw Rachel wearing that animal skin, it made you angrier than a bull. Like I said earlier, you're accusing me of something I am capable of doing. I don't believe in hurting any living creature.
We're all pointing fingers, but nobody has mentioned the fact that Yagman over there is looking very suspicious.
How do I look suspicious?
You read all those comic books filled with violence, you must know an awful lot about how to murder someone.
Only if the murder weapon is a supersonic force or techno laser beams. I don't know anything about knives, guns, or electricity.
You were ever riding in costumes?
Uniform!
characters all the time. Is one of those characters a murderer?
Never.
Maybe. You want to become the ultimate villain. The villain is very easily hiding underneath one of those uniforms. We don't even know your real name.
Neither do I. I've been living as a different comic book character for so long, I forgot my own name. I think it used to be Jacobs. Something Jacobs.
You can't honestly expect us to believe that you don't even remember your own name.
Hey, if you're going to point the finger at me just because no one else is, why don't we point the finger or hooks at the two people who haven't been accused yet? Freddie and Christine.
Us?
Why do you two get to tell us what to do and run the show?
Good point. It couldn't be us. Why would it be us?
It does seem pretty suspicious that you two keep insisting on us staying in our rooms while still maintaining a free roam in the entire bed and breakfast.
But I would never. I'm probably going to be Freddie too sweet to her to cry.
This is ridiculous. Christine and I were both in this room when Gretchen, Rachel, and Stefan were murdered.
That's true. They were in this room when Aunt Gretchen was stabbed in the hallway.
Yeah, and when Rachel got shot, they were here too. So it couldn't have been either of them who shoved past Connie or Stefan in the linen closet.
And they were both in here when the fuse happened, which means that they couldn't have murdered Stefan either. So obviously it wasn't Freddie or I, but it could have been any of you guys. Some of you had the motive and some of you had the opportunity. Freddie, what you need to do is figure out who's both the motive and the opportunity.
Yes, but I don't know how to do that.
Hold it. Gotta get over this. This guy needs a note.
What should we do?
Well, in all the murder mysteries that I've ever been a part of, there's always a scene where the detective questions the suspects.
Yeah, but this bonehead wouldn't know what questions to ask.
Well, maybe we can help him.
Yeah, it'll be like a game. And you know how I love games. We'll get these folks to help us.
Wait, you mean that we're going to meddle from beyond the grave?
Honey, we've been doing it all night.
It's fun. I'll jot down the questions. I'm used to writing quickly from taking research notes in the field.
Oh, but what would you like me to do?
Stefan, you can just stand there and look pretty like you always do. I'll handle these folks. Do any of you have a question that you think Freddie should ask the suspects?
Ask about the orange on one of the mine's gloves. The one with the funny hat.
I think Freddie said something about,
It's the frosting on the cake.
yeah, they were shoving their face full of cake for dinner.
Because they're disgusting minds.
Well, he is kind of special.
Wasn't that orange ink that they used to write the letters though too?
Well, maybe.
All the letters are written in orange ink. So they just ask-
Maybe we should ask that.
All right, fine. We'll see what Lamont has to say.
Well,
Any other questions?
Yeah, Christine, well, maybe she hired someone to kill all her family.
So that way she could inherit my bed and breakfast.
Exactly.
You're a genius. Right out of that. Any other questions? You know what I've been dying to know? Where did Lola get that board? I run this place and I don't even know where that came from.
And Gretchen, I also have a question.
All right.
Not really relevant, but I would like to know if these Michaels twins are fraternal twins.
I don't think they can spell it, but okay, let's ask. Any other questions out there?
Why did Tommy recommend the bed and breakfast?
Why did Sonny recommend the bed and breakfast?
Yeah.
That's a good one too. Any others?
Did the Michaels twins bring other weapons? I mean, they already had a gun. Like, did they have weapons to kill other people too?
You mean other animals?
Yeah.
how do we get Freddie to ask these questions?
That's easy. I think that'll work.
Resume.
What's this?
They look like interrogation questions. Freddie, you come up with these all by yourself.
Oh, well, I...
Save it. You said you didn't know what to do, but you know exactly what to do, my little Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Okay, I'll ask you. Fine. Tommy, you have orange on your glove. Now, this just says orange ink on mine's glove. I wonder where it came. Yeah.
You already said it was from the cake, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you know how to win. What does that have to do with anything?
Orange ink, he's saying he did it right.
Okay. So you can't. Well, anyway. Christine. Did you hire someone to kill all these people? I haven't.
Freddie, why are you writing interrogation questions about me?
No, I don't. Let's just keep that one. Okay.
Smart man.
Lola, where did you get that two back for?
Well, Freddie, when I was looking for a missing knitting needle, I found it in the boiler room against the wall.
That's where it came from.
Okay. Michael's twins. This doesn't have to do with anything, but are you fraternal twins? What does fraternal mean? Not identical. Mine, or Neil, why did Tommy recommend here for this fight?
Said they all heard it was a good place to stay.
Okay. Michael Springs, do you have any other weapons besides your gun? What else do we need? All we need is a rifle on squirrels. Okay. And mine. This is the last question. Where is this cave that you performed?
It's all one together island, but this was the only one with an open room and lodge, and that's why Tommy picked this place because he heard it was the best of what was out there.
Okay.
So, Freddie, obviously it's not me, but who do you think the murderer is?
I don't know. There's the surprise. Are you sure this is going to work?
Do you have a better idea?
I just don't want anything bad happening to you.
I'll be okay. Think about it. If the murderer is trying to get me, the best thing to do is leave me in peace.
But what if the murderer tries to attack you?
I'll be fine. Go back to the
Is anyone in school week?
Joel, what are you doing out here?
I just wanted to stretch my legs.
Aren't you worried that Freddie's going to be mad at you?
I'll take my chances.
Well, Joel, is that a knife in your belt?
Of course not.
Good.
It's a hatchet.
Why do you have a hatchet?
Why do you think?
Please don't hurt me.
No.
Help! Somebody
Christine,
help
I
me!
can explain.
No, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Stay away from me. Help!
Christine!
No! Christine, what's going on? Oh my gosh, please don't hurt us!
I'm not going to hurt anyone.
Take Connie. She's not your crush. She doesn't have a ring. She probably thinks you're pain. Oh dear.
This is only for protection. You don't think I'll come here without some sort of self-defense, do you? You might try to hurt me.
How could I hurt you? Oh. Patrick, get him!
Donald George! I can't see! What in the world?
Yeah. Ronnie, Jake can't see.
Quick!
Quick,
Grab
take
some water!
her. Why is everyone yelling?
Sounds as if the storm has moved inside.
This is all just a big misunderstanding. I came out here and accidentally praying for Christine and then Beatrice and Connie.
And everyone came out to see what the commotion was, and they caused a bigger commotion than Mr. Jacob. Who are you now?
Who's that crazy guy, right? We inherited the throne from the land of Sugar Town? Come on, guys, not every comic book is about superheroes.
Speechless.
That's the first.
Christine, is everything all right out there?
Better get back to the room. Quick, the Freddy's gonna be really mad.
Beatrice, Connie, what are you doing out here?
Christine wants some cake.
This cake has seen better days.
We'll just leave it here in case you guys get hungry. Let's go back to the kitchen and clean you up.
All right.
I'm fine.
I was for sure I was going to come out here to see you wrestling with the murderer.
Connie just had a little incident with a piece of cake. I guess we're no closer to catching the murderer than we were to begin with.
Maybe we should take our own advice, return to our rooms, and wait until the storm is over.
Yeah, I guess the amateurs will never figure out who's murdering my family and writing those creepy poems.
The poems. That's it. That's it. I know who the murderer is.
You do?
I can't believe I didn't figure it out sooner.
Well, who is it?
I'll tell you in a minute. But for now, we need to have everyone back out here, and we just need to tell them that we have to ask them a few more questions.
Okay, let's go get him.
Do you really think Freddie knows who murdered us?
It sure sounds like he does. This is most exciting.
It sure is. It's a good thing I've taught this class. It's tomorrow's movie night.
So wait, Gretchen, where's the best seat in the house? I want to be able to see all the action.
It looks like our friends out there have good seats. Let's go sit with them.
Who do you think did it? Any opinion? No suspicions? No?
You know who did it?
It's delicious.
Do you know?
that they'll be able to help solve a murder case, and that it might keep you alive.
Okay, proceed.
Great. Okay. First role play, I would like to use Timmy to be a catcher. Pretend you're just walking down the hall minding your own business. Jerry, I would like you to be the murderer.
I
must admit, even I was pleasantly surprised.
The subtle nuances were simply magnificent.
Now for the second role play. I would like Tebow to be Rachel and Tommy to be the murderer.
I agree, wonderful performance, but I just don't see how this is helping.
Maybe a third role play to spark something new. I would like to use Timmy to be Stefan in the bathtub and Terry to be the murderer.
Wait, Freddie, this... Oh dear, how did he...
A rope? Very interesting. Is that how you plan to kill Christine? Don't look innocent. I know it was you who murdered Aunt Gretchen, Rachel, and Stefan.
You have no proof.
Holy crap!
You're paying me steam, not her. That's in the contract.
Shut it. I'm being accused of murder.
It all makes sense. No one would suspect a minor of murder. You certainly look innocent enough, and you definitely never made any verbal threats.
Exactly. So what makes you think it was him?
The poems.
Don't tell me you're some type of handwriting analyst.
No, but I'm not colorblind. The poem's written in a very distinct orange ink. The same orange that's on Tommy's glove.
That's just the orange frosting for the dessert. You said so yourself.
That's what I originally thought. But I noticed the cake had no orange frosting. So the orange on your glove has to be from a felt tip pen. The same felt tip pen to write the poem.
You're not as dumb as you look, Freddie.
Thank you.
Now there's just one little problem here. You're gonna have to die. All of you.
What?
You know too much. Do you think I can let any of you live knowing that I'm responsible for 3 murders?
If you murder us, you'll be responsible for even more deaths.
Who's gonna tell on me?
He brings up a good point.
Wait, I don't understand. Why did you murder Aunt Gretchen?
And Rachel.
And Stefan.
That's one piece of the puzzle I haven't been able to figure out.
Maybe this will help. Now do you recognize me?
No.
That's the problem. I'm your cousin Tommy.
Cousin Tommy? I didn't know you were in show business.
Nobody knew me. Nobody ever took the time to get to know me.
Long ago, Aunt Henrietta had a falling out with the other sisters. Nobody's spoken to her in forever, or her husband, or Tommy here. I haven't seen you in a long time. How have you been?
You're not bad yourself.
Amazing.
You know how lonely a life it is to be shunned by your entire family? By all the people who are supposed to love and care for you. When I heard there was a family reunion being planned, I waited for an invitation. And when I didn't receive one, I knew I'd have to crash the party. I knew I'd have to get revenge on the very people who made me feel so rotten for all those years.
So, you were planning on murdering me next?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now.
Please don't. Haven't you heard of the win-win guideline?
It's too late for that.
Somebody do something.
Stand up, everyone!
Listen, Princess, put that toy down. This isn't a comic book. It's real life.
Is that knife you can stab?
No, it's just a common part of the comic book convention, but I can still beat you with it.
You're going to do that how?
With this!
Can't thank you enough, Mr. Franklin, for all you've done.
That's right. You're again, Daisy. And I'm glad that every time that we kill a squirrel on this here island, we'll be able to give them to you.
We'll be giving them a fortune, but it's worth it.
Well, the storm seems to be subsiding.
That means it should be over soon. In the morning, when the ferry comes, we'll alert the authorities.
Well, I'm glad that's over. Shall we finish our conversation, darling?
Sure. And let's hope no one listens in on us this time. They're hungry.
There's food in the kitchen. Follow me.
Does anybody else need anything? I think we'll be fine, honey. Good, because I could. This work as a maid is way too stressful. I'm packing up my things and leaving on the next ferry. I'm going back to my work in neuroscience.
You know, of all the lousy hotels, inns, bed breakfasts I've stayed at, this one has surely given me an interesting experience. That's something to mention in my review. I couldn't thank you enough, Princess Gracie Gumnut, or Mr. Jacobs, is it? You saved her lives.
Don't thank me already. You're the one who restored order to our dimension. I'm here merely as a shepherd, protecting the flock of innocents. You're the one who gives us hope, who gives us faith, who reminds us that whenever one of these sugary sweets, candies can be prevented by simple brushing and flossing.
You know, Mr. Jacobs, I always found a man in uniform to be quite attractive.
Really? I once saw Millie be a fascinating hobby.
Maybe I can show you his stitches.
Only if I can show you a few uniforms.
Sounds like a perfect match. But first, Freddie, I would just like to thank you for all that you've done.
You're certainly welcome.
How about a little hugsy?
Fine.
Ow! Something poked me.
Oh, that's where I put it. It was a long after all.
This certainly becomes an interesting start to our honeymoon.
Yeah, what a great family you've married into, at least what's left of it.
Thank you, folks.
Freddie couldn't have solved that first murder without you.
And we just wanted to say,
Freddie, Christine, the bodies are missing! Get in here!
Oh, whoops. We should probably get back to the kitchen. Good night, everyone!
job showing the other kids the ropes and bringing more people into this program. And I thank you guys all for building our program and increasing it. I'm very proud to say that we actually have money in our account now. We are actually